Good evening, dear ladies. I would like to bless all of us that בסייעתא דשמיא we all have the zchut to greet משיח צדקנו ברחמים גבוהים במהרה בימינו אמן. אליהו נביא אליהו תשביליהו גלדים ממשיך ודוד אליהו זכור לטוב. And we all have the zchut בעזרת השם to see the building of בית המקדש השלישי במהרה בימינו אמן. כי עין בעין יראו בשובני ציון. אתה תקום תרחם ציון, כי עת לך ננה קיבה מועד. השיבנו אדוני אליך ונשובה חדש ימינו כקדם. And we all have the zchut to go to Eretz Israel on the wings of eagle, and we all have a part בעזרת השם בארץ ישראל. So now, dear ladies, בסייעתא דשמיא, this Shabbat is Shabbat Shlach Lecha. It's all about the spies that Moshe Rabbeinu is sending in order to see the land of Israel, Eretz Canaan. And this is Shabbat Mevarchim. Next week, it's Rosh Chodesh, Be'ezrat Hashem. So I would like to tell you, to remind you, please read Tehillim on Shabbat, read the whole book of Tehillim, B'siyata Dishmaya. And because next week it's Rosh Chodesh, B'siyata Dishmaya, I would like, Be'ezrat Hashem, to give you the name of Hashem that we need to concentrate on for the month of Tammuz. We're going into the month of Tammuz. We're going to speak about the month of Tammuz next week, Be'ezrat Hashem. Next week we're also going to have Zoom because I'm not in Brooklyn now. So Be'ezrat Hashem will have Zoom also next week. The month of Tammuz, you remember when we say, Arizal asks, why do the children of Israel daven, pray, and sometimes their prayers are not answered because they don't know how to concentrate and visualize the name of Hashem. So David HaMelech says, Ki bichashak va'apaltero asagveu ki yada shmi, yikraeni ve'eno. So once he knew my name, he's going to call me and I am going to answer him. So for the month of Tammuz, it comes from the verse from Megillat Esther that Haman HaRasha, that didn't have gratefulness to Hashem for all of the things that he received from God, that he was the right hand of the king, and he wanted Chas v'Shalom to eliminate the children of Israel. And because Mordechai didn't bow down to him, everybody was bowing down to him except for Mordechai. He said, "V'chol zeh enenu shaveh li," and everything that I have is like nothing because Mordechai is not bowing down to me. So it comes from this pasuk, and the end letters of each word is the combination of the name of Hashem for this month. The month, this coming month, the month of Tammuz. And it's exactly from the end to the beginning of the name of Hashem, Yud Kei Vav Kei. So it's the letter Kuf, and you remember that when I say Kuf, I mean Hey. The letter Kuf, the letter Vav, the letter Kuf again, which again, this is a Hey, and the letter Yud. And the name of Hashem, of Eyeh Asher, the name of redemption of Hashem, is now Kuf, the letter Yud, Kuf, and Aleph. So this is a combination of the name of Hashem for the month of Tammuz. So we daven, there are 2 days of Rosh Chodesh. When we daven Musaf shel Rosh Chodesh, we say, Baruch Ata Hashem, Mekadesh Yisrael v'Rashi Chodeshim, blessed are Hashem who sanctifies the children of Israel and the first days of the month. Then we just visualize, we don't say the letters with our mouth, we just visualize the letter, the right combination of the name of Hashem for this month. And then B'siyata Dishmaya opens all of the gates of prosperity, health, marriages, children, Be'ezrat Hashem, Parnasa B'siyah, good income, Be'ezrat Hashem, not only for us, our children, Klal Yisrael, but for the whole world. So B'siyata Dishmaya, this is the name of Hashem, the combination of the name of Hashem for the month of Tammuz.
Yes.
Now,
the seeds are all the
I'm just muting everybody again because women are joining us. So Be'ezrat Hashem, now we're going to speak about the shiur. I would like to remind you this Shabbat will be the 3rd chapter of Masechet Avot. Maaseh Avot Siman Lebanim. Please read, let's study, and we're going to speak about Be'ezrat Hashem. We're going to speak now about gratefulness and ungratefulness. So we see that the month of Tammuz, the name of Hashem, the name of God, the combination of the name of God for the month of Tammuz comes from Haman HaRasha. And we know, and we know B'siyata Dishmaya that he showed ungratefulness. Everything that I have, he had riches, he had so many children, he had the ring of the king on his finger, but this wasn't worthwhile because one person didn't bow to him, and this is Mordechai. So B'siyata Dishmaya, we're going to speak about it now. You remember that one of the plagues that was in Egypt for the Egyptians was darkness. And I want you to know that also one of the signs that Mashiach is coming, that Messiah is here, is also darkness. It says, B'midrash Talpiyot, the fifth sign that Mashiach is on his way over here to be revealed is this. It's written in Midrash Talpiyot under Anaf Mashiach. HaKadosh Baruch Hu machzir hashemesh lechoshech. Hashem makes the sun dark, vayareach ledam, which means the sun will have darkness and the moon will look to us like it has a color of blood. 30 yom, 30 days, שנאמר השמש יהפך לחושך, that the sun will become darkness, והירח לדם, and the moon will become blood. אחר 30 יום, after 30 days, הקדוש ברוך הוא מחזירו לקדמותו. After 30 days, they will come back to the sun that we know and the moon that we know, with the regular colors. בסייעתא דשמיא. And it's written that all ומתפחדים אומות העולם, and all of the nations will be afraid, ומתביישים, and they will feel shame, ויודעים שבשביל ישראל כל האותות האלה, and they know that for the children of Israel all of these signs, ורבים מהם מתייעדים בסתר, and they will be converting, there will be conversion to Judaism, but not outside, not everybody will know, but it will be hidden and they will convert to Judaism. שנאמר משמרים הבלי אישה וחסדם יעזובו. So they will recognize the truth, and they not only will recognize the truth, but בסייעתא דשמיא, they will say that they know the truth. So it's written in Pele Yoetz. It's written about kfiyut tova, ungratefulness, and it's written over there by King Solomon. Meshiv ra'at achatova lo tashuv ra mibeto. He who gives back wickedness instead of goodness for a person who did good things to him, b'siyata dishmaya, bad things will not go off his home. Which this is mamash like a curse. Bad things will not go from his home. Why? Because Hashem wants all of the nations and the children of Israel to show gratefulness to Him. How do we show gratefulness to Hashem? By appreciating what Hashem created in the world. So it's not only the animals, the trees, and everything that we see, the oceans, and everything that we see around us, but especially human beings, that we love each other, that we show appreciation to the human beings that we have around us. If it's the Jewish people or the nations, Hashem wants us to appreciate all living things and everything that He created in this world. How do we show appreciation? By appreciating to Hashem, by appreciating His creation. So it says like this. Achida says that the plague of darkness was upon the Egyptians because they did not appreciate what the children of Israel did for them. What did the children of Israel do for them? So we know that a Pharaoh came up, that it says in the Midrash, that didn't know Yosef. You remember that Pharaoh had two dreams, and in his dreams Yosef told him that it's about the wheats and the cows, and in his dreams Yosef tells him that there's going to be at that time hunger in the world. And Yosef tells him that Yosef HaTzadik tells him he has to put a person who will be wise and to know how to restore and store all of the food in order that on the time that there will be hunger in the world, that we will have food in order to feed the people. And Pharaoh says, "You are such a wise person, I'm going to put you as the person with my right hand and to see that there will be food during the hunger." After Yosef HaTzadik passes away, there comes a Pharaoh that becomes a king, because all of the kings in Egypt were called Pharaoh. And it's mentioned about him that he did not remember Yosef. It's not that he did not remember Yosef. He wanted to eliminate all of the things that Yosef did, and that nobody will appreciate what Yosef did. It's like forgetting everything, all the goodness that the children of Israel brought to Egypt. Even you remember that when Yaakov came in front of Pharaoh, Yaakov Avinu b'siyata dishmaya, when he came, the water started coming up from the Nile. So there was a blessing in the water also. But this Pharaoh decided that he doesn't recognize the goodness that he received from the children of Israel. This means that when we say did not recognize, in Hebrew it's kichesh, to say we didn't get anything from this person. For example, a person who does not respect his father and mother goes against one of the 10 commandments, and he's mekachesh batova shekibel mehorav. He's ignoring and disregarding the goodness that he received from his parents. This is the word kichesh. The word kichesh, everybody can see it. רואים את זה? I hope. The word kichesh is the letters of darkness, choshech. You see, this is the chaf, this is the shin, and this is the chet. You see? And it's the letters of the word shachach, to forget the goodness that you received from other people, to forget the goodness that Hashem gave you. So because they ignored and disregarded the goodness that they received from the children of Israel, from Yaakov Avinu, Yaakov our forefather, and Yosef HaTzadik, Hashem gave them a plague of darkness, the same letters of Kichesh, because it's like they forgot the goodness that they received, because the children of Israel at that time, Moshe Rabbeinu, Yaakov Avinu, was such messages from Hashem. God is the one that gives the goodness to the world, but he brings it through messengers, through people, the siyata dishmaya. So this is God that gives it. For example, now we see what's going on all around in the United States and all over the world. So when we don't know how to behave and what to do, we go back to the Torah. And over there, Hashem gives us a line how to behave, a path how to behave, b'siyata dishmaya, regarding people who did not behave to us nice, but we still lived in their country. So look what Hashem says. Parashat Ki Titzeh, Hashem says, Lo tetaev Edomi, that you shouldn't dislike Edomi, you should dislike his actions, Hamaasim shelo, but you won't tetaev Edomi, you wouldn't dislike him, Ki achicha hu, because he's your brother. Who is the Edomi? It's Esav. Esav is a twin brother to Yaakov. So Hashem says you shouldn't dislike him, you could dislike his actions, what he does against the word of Hashem, but remember that he is your brother, he's your twin brother. And it continues. And it continues, and he says like this, you remember we were slaves in Egypt. And we built the cities for them in Egypt. It was a very hard slavery over there. And they took all of the sons of the children of Israel in order to put them in the Nile, to kill them, to drown them in the Nile. All of the babies, the baby boys. And still look what Hashem says. Lo tetaev Mitzri, you should not dislike or hate an Egyptian. Ki ger hayita be'artzo, because you lived in his country and you ate from his food. Can you imagine what Hashem says here? All of our guidance how to behave we receive from the Torah. So Hashem says, "Lo tetaev Mitzri," you should not dislike or hate an Egyptian, "Ki ger hayita be'artzo," because you lived temporary in his land, on his land, and you ate from his food. Yes, you were over there a slave, but then I freed you. It's also the same thing right now, dear ladies. So Hashem says, because you ate from his food, you should show gratitude. And you shouldn't show hatefulness because you ate from his plate, from the plate in his country, and you slept in his country. So Hashem says you have to have gratefulness. So it says, Rabbi Nachman Mereslav says, Shoresh kol hatov, the root of everything that is good in the world, ze hakarat hatov, is showing gratefulness. Veshoresh kol hara, and the root of all evil things in this world, ze kfiyut tova, is ungratefulness. Which means ungratefulness, what do? If you are not grateful, you make damage. You don't eat from a plate and then you spit in the plate that you eat. Because you live in the place. You live on the land that does not belong to you. And even if you were born over here, you receive from the government. You receive from the people around you. So the only thing you should show is gratefulness and to better yourself as a human being. Because you have all the opportunities to better yourself as a human being. And furthermore, if you have to behave like this to human beings, furthermore to Hashem, to God, that brought you to this world and put clothes on you and feeds you and gives you a roof, even though you're only temporary in this world. And you're temporary because you're coming. When a person passes away, there's a baby that is born in this world. This is a circle. And why? Because Hashem brings us over here to fix what we did wrong in the previous reincarnation. What do we need to fix? As Besiyata Dishmaya, we need to fix our behavior towards each other. We just had a plague. We're just now going out again to work. Besiyata Dishmaya. And we just finished Parashat Ba'alotcha. And we see in Parashat, and I hope this lesson we all learned by being closed in the house. I hope that this is what we did. Katuv kach. In Parashat Ba'alotcha, it's written, Ki Hashem diber tov al Yisrael. That Hashem speaks good about the children of Israel. Dear ladies, he who speaks good about the children of Israel speaks good about God, about Hashem. Why? Because it's written, Diber tov al HaMelech, in Megillat Esther, it's written Besiyata Dishmaya, Diber tov, you see the word tov. So Diber tov, the verse Diber tov, to speak good, is twice in the Torah. Once in Parashat Ba'alotcha, and the other one is in Megillat Esther. And it's written over there, Diber tov al HaMelech, which means he who speaks good about the children of Israel speaks good about the king. Which king? The King of Kings. Always when the word king is written without a name of a king, it always refers to Hashem. This is Kabbalah Ma'avotenu. Always refers to Hashem. So from this we know, if a person remembers, Kutsha Berichu Oraita B'Yisrael, Hashem, the Torah, and the children of Israel, says the Zohar HaKadosh, Chadu, it's one. Besiyata Dishmaya. So he who doesn't speak good about the children of Israel, Besiyata Dishmaya, falls in a sin. And the sin, when we open the words Avon, sin in Hebrew is Avon, when we open the letters, Ayin is Ayin Yud Nun, Vav is Vav Vav, and Nun is Nun Vav Nun. Ayin is 70, Yud is 10, Vav is Nun, together it's 130. Vav is 6, another Vav is 6, together it's 12. Nun is 50, Vav is 6, another Nun is 50, is 106. Together it's 248, which means it's all the 248 organs that a person has. So when a person, Besiyata Dishmaya, doesn't speak good about the children of Israel, doesn't speak good about the children of Israel. He causes a sin to himself and damages all of his 248 organs by not speaking good about the children of Israel. Dear ladies, I hope that we all learn the lesson from the plague, because Hashem put us at home, and just like He puts the Metzorah, the person who has Shelo Aleinu leprosy, and why does he get the leprosy? It's written in Parashat Tazria Metzorah, because he spoke Lashon Hara, slander. Why does a person speak Lashon Hara? This is ungratefulness. This is an example, because you remember that a few minutes we spoke about it, that the root of all good things is Akarat HaTov, is knowing how to say thank you. Shh, sit, Weshti. Tov? Boy. Okay, I have my granddaughter, she wants to speak with you too. So, B'siyata Dishmaya, the root of all good things is Akarat HaTov, having gratefulness. And the root and gratefulness is speaking good about people. And when we speak good about other people, about all the children of Israel, B'siyata Dishmaya, then it means that we speak good about Hashem. Because each and every one of us, B'Tselem Elokim, each and every one of us is the image of Hashem. So B'siyata Dishmaya, everything goes back to gratefulness and ungratefulness. So Be'ezrat Hashem, it's Letzari, I hope that we will know how to show gratefulness to each other, and by this we won't have darkness, the plague of darkness in the world now at the times of Mashiach, because we are in the times of Mashiach. So what do we need to do in order not to have it? We need to show appreciation to each other, to find the good things of each other, to find the merit of each other. It starts in the unit of the family unit, in the four walls that we live in, and then it goes out to other people. If we will B'siyata Dishmaya show gratefulness to everyone, Be'ezrat Hashem, and say thank you to Hashem and thank you to the people, even a person, it says in Shulchan Aruch, in the Jewish laws, that when a person gives you even a cup of water in the house, you should show gratefulness to him, even more than your father and mother. Why? Because your father and mother gave birth to you, so you can understand that they will give you water and food. But another person that doesn't know you, B'siyata Dishmaya, doesn't have to do that. He does it from his kindness, from his heart. So today we see what's happening, and we see Shelo Neda Lo Aleinu, that it seems like the ship is like drowning, and it's all over the world. Ungratefulness, breaking things, hurting other people, unbelievable what we see, stealing. Because we can demonstrate quietly to show what we want to express, but not violently. There's no excuse for that. So, dear ladies, what do we need to do? So Hashem says in Parashat Be'alotcha, B'siyata Dishmaya, Hashem says like this: V'chi tavou lemilchama ba'artzechem. If you have a war. And it doesn't mean literally a war, but you have like what we have right now, riots and people wanting to destroy each other. וכי תבואו למלחמה בארצכם, על הצער הצורר אתכם, והרעותם בחצוצרות ונזכרתם לפני השם אלוקיכם ונושעתם אויביכם. So you should blow the trumpet or blow the shofar, and Hashem will hear it, and Hashem will save you. So I'm going to Sefer B'siyata Dishmaya, לספר אור תורה של רבי פנחס בן זכריה הכהן. He wrote it. And בפרשת שמות it's written, ויצעקו בני ישראל אל השם. That the children of Israel, they were slaves in Egypt, and they were shouting to Hashem to save them. So it says over there that the Arizal, זכותו תגן עלינו, says, צעקו, צעקה ללא מילים. They shouted without words, like from the bottom of ממעמקים קראתיך Hashem. From the bottom of our heart, we are calling you Hashem. So it's a shout even without words, just from the heart. And he says like this, גדולה מכולם צעקה, כי צעקה היא בלב. From everything, from all the prayers, the most powerful thing is the shout that comes from the heart. And he says, צעק ליבם אל השם. Because we see from here, ויצעקו בני ישראל אל השם. So they shouted to Hashem from the bottom of the heart. And Hashem listened to them. And Hashem redeemed them and took them out of Egypt. So let's continue. It says ככה. צעקה וזעקה, which means a shout, וזעקה, it's another word for a shout in Hebrew. דבר אחד, they are both the same thing. והיא קרובה לקדוש ברוך הוא, and it's close to Hashem. יותר מתפילה והנחה. More than a prayer, a shout to Hashem that comes from the bottom of the heart is closer to Hashem. והיה כי יצעק אליי. It says בפרשת משפטים that if a widow or an orphan will shout to me, והיה כי יצעק אליי, שמוע אשמע צעקתו, I will listen to his shout. אמר רבי ברכיה, שמואל הניח הכל ולקח הצעקה. You remember שמואל הנביא, שמואל the prophet, in the book of שמואל, בסייעתא דשמיא, שמואל א', the first book of שמואל, chapter 15. So it's written over there, בעזרת השם, that we're coming back to Amalek, like המן הרשע, וכל זה איננו שווה לי. And Hashem tells Shmuel, he is the first king of the children of Israel. And he tells Shmuel, go and kill all Amalek. Don't leave anything, not their animals, not their herds, not the king, no one. Because Hashem says that his name and his chair won't be fulfilled until Amalek is eliminated from the world. Because Amalek knows Hashem and on purpose wants everybody to go against Hashem. And to say that there's no Chas v'Shalom king to the world. So Shaul doesn't kill, he kills everybody except for the king, Agag, and a part of the sheep and the herd. And Hashem tells Shmuel HaNavi, ניחמתי כי המלכתי את שאול למלך. I regret that I put שאול to...
שאלה פה בצ'אט, אם כתוב, היא אמרה, רב ציוניזם את orphan, widow and convert.
כן, orphan, אבל אני אגיד את זה עוד מעט, אני אחזור על זה. So dear ladies, and it's not only this, but I'll go back to it soon. So he says that I regret that I put Shaul as a king. Why? Because he didn't listen to me. I said because he didn't do what I told him. ואת דבריי לא הקים. And then ויחר לשמואל. Shmuel the prophet felt very bad for Shaul HaMelech. He loved Shaul HaMelech. Shaul HaMelech was righteous. The king Shaul was righteous, a righteous king. He was a righteous king. So בסייעתא דשמיא, what does Shmuel do? He doesn't want to do that. He doesn't want to go to King Shaul and to tell him that he won't be a king anymore and he's going to appoint another king. ויזעק אל השם כל הלילה. So he shouts from the bottom of his heart all night. And it says over here, אמר רבי ברכיה, שמואל הניח הכל ולקח הצעקה ויזעק אל השם כל הלילה. The whole night he was shouting to Hashem. משום שהיא קרובה לקדוש ברוך הוא יותר מכולם, because he knew that if he will take all of this feeling that he had, all of these emotions, and he will cry to Hashem, that Hashem will take this decree from Shaul, maybe Hashem will listen. בסייעתא דשמיא, and take the decree of Shaul. And you know what happened after that. Hashem didn't take the decree. And King David was made a king. And then because of this it says that Arizal says, גדולה צעקה שקורעת גזר דינו של אדם מכל ימיו. So if a person has a decree upon him that is not good, by shouting to Hashem from the bottom of his heart, with atonement, with shuvah, doing shuvah, but from the bottom of his heart, shouting and crying to Hashem, he can tear, it goes under the throne of Hashem, and he can tear all of this decree. The same thing happened with Chizkiyahu HaMelech. Chizkiyahu the king, you remember, Yeshayahu the prophet came to him and he told him that tamut velo tichye, you're going to pass from this world and you're not going to live in the true world. And why? Because he didn't want to do one of the commandments of Hashem. He didn't get married and he didn't bring children. So, dear ladies, what did Chizkiyahu the king do? He said to him, "Gam im cherev chadam munachat al tzavoro shel adam, al yitesh min harachamim." I know from my great grandfather David HaMelech that even if a sword is put on your throat, never forsake mercy. You should daven to Hashem. And he stood and davened to Hashem and he shouted to Hashem and he cried to Hashem, and Hashem added to his life 15 years and he got married to the daughter of Yeshayahu the prophet. And they had 2 sons. So let's continue. So we see that even a shout tears a decree. So if you have sorrow in your life, shout to Hashem, cry to Hashem. But from the bottom of your heart, and B'siyata D'Shemaya, Hashem will help us. And Rabbi Yitzchak said, Amar, Gdolat Tza'aka Shemoshelet Al Midat Hadin. That a shout even controls the measure of judgment. Rabbi Yosei Amar, Gdolat Tza'aka Shemoshelet Ba'olam Hazeh U'Ba'olam Haba. A shout is so great and big that it controls this world and the next world, the true world. ויצעקו אל השם בצר להם, and when they felt sorrow and they felt like the belt is becoming tight, they shouted to Hashem. ויצעקו אל השם בצר להם. בסייעתא דשמיא, we continue and we'll see מה אומרת בעצם צעקה. ותעזרי לסוף, תחזיקי, hold it. So let's look why it's so powerful to shout to Hashem. So we see that tza'ak, which means shout to Hashem, hold it, hold here. טוב, עכשיו אני לא מגיעה לזה. אוקיי, צעק, dear ladies, צעק is shout. Tzadik is 90 numerical value, Ayin is 70, Kuf is 100, together it's 260. 10 times the name of Hashem, dear ladies. 10 times the name of mercy of Hashem, Yud Kei Vav Kei. 10 times, 260. We go into Zaka, which is also shout. Zaka, Zayin is 7, Ayin is 70, Kuf is 100, and Hey is 5. Together it's 182. 182 is Yaakov. It's the numerical value of Yaakov. Yud is 10, Ayin is 70, Kuf is 100, Bet is 2. Together, dear ladies, it's 182. All this, Yaakov and Zaka and the shout equals 7 times the name of Hashem of mercy. 7 times 26 is 182. So, dear ladies, let's continue. And this softens the judgment because Ze'aka, the word Ze'aka, which is a shout, 182 equals twice the name of Hashem of judgments, which is Elohim. Aleph is 1, Lamed is 30, Kuf, Hey is 5, Yud is 10, instead of the Kuf it's Hey, and Mem is 40, together it's 86. 86 multiplied by 2 is 182. So, dear ladies, which means a shout softens, literally softens, because a shout, if we have judgment, which is twice the name of judgment Elohim, of Hashem, this equals 7 times the name of Hashem of mercy, Yud Kei Vav Kei, and this equals Yaakov. And why Dafka Yaakov? Why it literally equals Yaakov? Because Yaakov is in the measure of Tiferet. You remember the measures of the Kabbalah? Avraham Avinu is Chesed, is mercy. Yitzchak is judgment. And Yaakov Avinu is the combination of both of them. So he can soften judgment because it's mercy and judgment. So by him they soften judgment. So b'siyata d'ishmaya, when we shout, we soften judgment. So what do we do now? When we see everything that is happening around us, we need to shout to Hashem. We need to remember that the measure of gratefulness is the root of all goodness in this world. And the measure of ungratefulness is the root of all evil in this world. Because if a person is ungrateful, it means that he thinks that everything, that he deserves everything. He has pride. Everybody should serve him. Everybody should give him everything. He shouldn't work for this. Knowing how to say thank you, teaching our children how to say thank you, teaching our children how to say please, please help us, please, can you please bring me a piece of bread, a lemon, anything to know how to say please and thank you is teaching our children to be good human beings, productive human beings, that they know that we came into this world in order to give each other. The Baal Shem Tov says that a person can, that a person can live in this world 70 years only to see the right person that he needs to do a kind action towards him, a kind word towards him for his fixing. We all came over here to fix. What we see now is mamash, a plague of darkness spiritually, because when people do not know why they came to this world and do what they do all around us, what we can see right now, this is mamash very sad and mamash pity for all of us as humanity. Yeah. So our job in this world, b'siyata d'ishmaya, wait, our job in this world now is to show gratefulness. And when I told you b'siyata d'ishmaya that Hashem listens to the shout, and it's written over there, the shout of an orphan, a widow, a person who converted to Judaism. It's also a divorced person. It's all the people that you think that they don't have any strength in this world, and you think that you have more power than them. So Hashem says, pity everybody, behave nice to them. All the humanity, all of the people are created in my image, says Hashem. So we should always find the merit of each other. We should always remember, in order not to have darkness, Be'ezrat Hashem, in this world, which is one of the 10 plagues, in order not to have darkness, we shouldn't avoid and forget, velishkoach, lekachesh, velishkoach, all of the great things that we receive from other people, from the state that we live in, from the city that we live in, the state that we live in. It goes from other, first of all, the people in the house, our siblings, our friends, b'siyata d'ishmaya, and then the borough that we live in, the city that we live in, the state that we live in, the country, the whole country that we live in. We should always know how to be grateful, because this is what Hashem wants. When we don't know what we want, how to behave, we need to go back to the Torah and see what Hashem wants. Hashem wants us to be grateful. And when we show gratefulness and find the merit of other human beings, and especially the merit of the children of Israel, of each other, Be'ezrat Hashem, then we bring Mashiach with mercy. So this is what we need to do. We need to shout to Hashem, to ask Him to save us, Klal Yisrael, and the whole world, because we have a true problem in the world, and it doesn't look that it's going to be better unless we better ourselves as a human being, and unless we will be deservable of the term human being, because everybody can look as a human being, but it doesn't mean that we're really a human being. We're just an animal in the clothing of a human being. We need to remember that God made us in His image, which means that we need to emulate His attributes. And even though sometimes we don't listen to Hashem and don't do His will, He still gives us life. He still gives us food to eat. He still gives us parnasa, income. He still gives us a roof over our heads. Still gives us what we need. So the mercy that He shows us, we should show mercy to each other. And instead of ruining the beautiful world of Hashem, we should build it with love, with caring, with empathy to each other. And with this, I would like to bless all of you, Be'ezrat Hashem. I love Hashem and I love all of you. And may we all have the zchut, Be'ezrat Hashem, to greet Mashiach tzidkenu v'rachamim מורים במהרה בימינו אמן. אליהו הנביא זכור לטוב. לעולם ייפרד אדם מחברו בדבר הלכה, יחיד ורבים הלכה כרבים. בסייעתא דשמיא, I would like to bless all of you. תלינו בטוב ותקיצו בישועה ורחמים.
Amen.
I'm taking